As Iranians head to the polls to elect their parliament, posters extolling the virtues of the candidates are plastered across the capital, Tehran. People like car mechanic Bahram Bayati are hoping a change in parliament could usher in better economic prospects because the current lawmakers have failed to do it.
Members of parliament haven't done anything for the people. My standard of living and purchasing power haven't improved.
Their plight has been worsened by international sanctions. They've escalated since the US backed out of the 2015 Iran nuclear deal almost 2 years ago. Last month, food and fuel prices surged by more than 26%. 1 in every 4 young people doesn't have a job, and the UN expects Iran's economy to shrink by 2.7% this year. Protests against inflation and unemployment are persisting despite government crackdowns. But those hoping the elections will bring about real change may be disappointed, because voters can only pick from candidates approved by Iran's Guardian Council. It's barred nearly 7,000 politicians from running over allegations of corruption or not being religious enough. And a coalition of pro-reformists says it has no candidates in the race for 230 out of 290 seats in parliament. That's prompting some Iranians to boycott Friday's vote.
I don't think so, because according to what I'm seeing, whoever I vote for, no matter how truthful they are, I just can't trust them.
A low turnout could raise pressure on Supreme Leader Ayatollah Ali Khamenei and his establishment, but authorities say they expect a sizable number of people to cast ballots.
Our forecast is that we will have a good turnout in the upcoming elections, and the turnout average has usually not been under 50%. In this election as well, we will witness a 50% turnout.
Voters don't just face a lack of choices. Key state policies like foreign and economic ones are controlled by the clergy. So even with a new parliament in place, Tehran's tensions with the US and other world powers are unlikely to abate. And that could continue stifling Iran's economy. Mobin Nasir, TRT World.
Well, for more on this, Economist Muhammed Hussein Ansarifard joins us live now from Tehran. Welcome to Money Talks, Muhammad. Now, Iran's leadership, including the Ayatollah, relies on a high public turnout at these elections, I guess, to cement their legitimacy. What's the feeling in Tehran right now? Can we expect a big turnout for these elections?
I think the turnout will be about 50%, because before the election we had the turnout of the people in the commemoration of Sardar Soleimani and also in the commemoration of the anniversary of the revolution in February. So I think the turnout for the parliament would be about 50%, but in Tehran maybe less, because in Tehran people in Tehran usually don't have so much contact with their representative in the parliament. But in the provinces, the turnout may be over 50%, because they are looking forward to see changes in the parliament in favor of the poor people. But in Tehran, maybe because of the hardship, economic hardship, the turnout may be around 50% or a little less than that. But in the provinces would be higher.
Yes, let's look at the economic issues, because as we heard in Mobin's story there, Iran is experiencing runaway inflation right now. The rial is worth less day by day, it seems, and the cost of living is increasing as a result. Is that the main issue that voters are focused on this time round?
I think the main topic for the people is economy, and the people are looking forward to see the representatives in the parliament to follow up the better condition for the people. And I think they would bring pressure on the government, Rouhani government, to do something for the weak people in the society. And there would be some quarrel between the parliament and the government on that issue, the economy for the poor people. And I think this would be in benefit of the poor people, and downplaying people. So I think better days would be for the people, low-class people, and for the resistance of the country against American pressure and American sanctions. And there would be no hole for the American pressure on Iran's economy.
Now, at the last parliamentary elections 5 years ago, the party aligned with President Hassan Rouhani scored quite significantly, forming the biggest bloc in parliament with a reformist agenda. This time round, there's talk that perhaps the Conservatives may take power. Is that the case, do you think? Will Conservatives and hardline elements win more votes this time?
I think the supporters of the Rouhani government in the last election are not disillusioned with the government because the government has not been able to control the inflation, unemployment, and because corruption in some parts of the government and some juridical opposition to the government people. And I think the people are somehow, let's say, disillusioned with the government. So this time the supporters of the government will not have any chance because most of them have been disqualified because of the corruption or something like that. And the people are not satisfied with their effort to help the people. So the people think that most of the supporters of the Rouhani in the last parliament were after their own interests and their people around them. Yes. So they would be, I think, having good term for the Conservatives.
Okay, Muhammed Hussein Ansarifard, we'll have to leave it there, but thank you so much for your analysis.